Success is predictable. So is failure. Both of them are results of law. Either you know the laws or you don't. So let's talk first of all about leadership. Every human being was born to be a leader. Most of them will die as followers. And that's because they've never been told how to become that leader. I want to begin with a statement. Here's a picture of some sheep. Sheep are the dumbest animals on earth. They are the only animals on earth that don't have a leader. If you study a flock of sheep, you will never see a leader. There's no such thing as a leading sheep. This is why sheep are dumb. They just follow what's in front of them. And this is why they fall over cliffs, fall into rivers, fall off mountains. This is why they are the only animals God created that need a shepherd. Every other animal doesn't need a human. Sheep do. Sheep are dumb. If someone calls you a sheep, that is not a compliment. Some of you wonder why God says you are like sheep. That is not a compliment. God says you are all like sheep gone astray. You are lost. You don't know where you're going, he says. You've walked away from my laws and my principles. You are wandering like sheep. He said, but I came as the shepherd to guide you back to where you fell from. Not to remain sheep. Because sheep are always dumb. And God doesn't want you to be dumb. Here's a statement I want you to think about. An army of sheep led by a lion will always defeat an army of lions if they are led by a sheep. What does this parable mean? It means that leadership determines everything. In other words, leadership determines the quality of the followers. Leadership also determines the mentality of the followers. Leadership determines the morality of the followers. Leadership determines also the attitude of the followers. Leadership determines the commitment of the followers. Leadership determines the destiny of the followers. You can only be as good as your leader. If your leader stops growing, you will stop growing. If your leader stops expanding, the organization will stop expanding. You cannot live beyond your leader. Jesus said these words, if the blind lead, listen to his words. I quote Jesus, if the blind lead, then the followers must be blind. And if the blind lead the blind, they both fall into the ditch. He's talking about your destiny. He's telling us, first of all, that you can be in leadership and be blind. You can have a title, a position, power, and authority, and yet be blind. Don't ever be convinced by people in high positions. It doesn't mean they know where they're going. Some of you are wondering about the world leaders today. I worked with them personally. I'm talking about heads of state personally in a room, talking to them. And I am shocked at their ignorance. They are blind. And we depend on them to lead our countries, our communities, our organizations, and our economies. And Jesus said, wherever they are going, you will go. They both fall into the ditch. So it's important for you to question your leaders. Don't ask your leader if he has power or authority or money or strength. Ask him, do you have vision? Where are you going? Why should I follow you? What is the destination? Some of you are so emotional, you forget to be sensible. We get excited about people who work miracles who have no destination. We get excited about good preachers who have no destination. We get excited about people who do miraculous things but have no destiny. And they are leading you into an emotional ditch. Leadership is the most important activity on earth because it determines the destiny of the followers. And this is why I focus on leadership so much. Leadership is powerful. Write this down. Leaders provide confidence in people who are frightened. Leadership provides certainty where people are vacillating. Leaders also provide action where people are hesitant. You know, when the children of Israel came to the Red Sea, they began to become depressed. Everybody was afraid. And a leader emerged, Moses. He stood up on a rock and he stopped the hesitation. He said, I promise you today that the people coming behind us will be dead at sunset. He took action. And then he ran behind the bush and said to God, did you hear what I told them? Leaders normally pronounce things they can't do. Write that down. True leaders always speak what makes them dependent on God. It's important for you to do that. Proclaim things. God will perform it. Don't wait for the performance. Put pressure on God. Number 4, leaders give strength where there is weakness. They give expertise where there is floundering. Leaders give courage where people are cowardly. They stir up people to believe, like Moses told the people, stand up and be strong. Every one of Pharaoh's army will be killed tomorrow. He gave them courage. Leaders also provide optimism where there is cynicism. Leaders provide conviction that the future is possible. Brother Tom came to me this morning, a few moments ago, and he said, you know, we still have our budget to meet in this conference. And I'm not surprised that he said that. Most leaders have no money. They have vision. They depend on God to meet the need in the process. And that's why God brought you here. This man has conviction. And he believed that this convocation was possible. So he booked the hotel for every room before the people registered. That's conviction. And the hotel signed an agreement with Tom and said, for every room that's not filled, you will have to pay for it. He signed it, hoping that you would come. That's leadership. And all of us must act that way. It's called faith. Faith means to believe in something that you can't see yet. And you are so convicted in it that you act. Number 9, leaders create commitment in other people to pursue strategy and success. In other words, a leader, a man and a woman, can motivate people to commit themselves to the future that hasn't arrived yet, and encourage them to give their energy to a strategy and a program. This is leadership. I influence over 15,000 leaders all over the world in our network, and it grows every day. Millions of people look to me for direction, so I keep close to God because I need to give directions. because I have to give them strategy, a program to create the future. Write this down. Leaders design the future. I want you to think about why you were born. You were born to change the world. The present state of the world is not what God wants. He doesn't want you to complain. He wants you to comply to his will. He doesn't want you to be depressed. He wants you to sit down and design the future of your community. And so, remember this. A leader, finally, gives hope and faith. Hope is giving people a reason to believe in the temporary. Everything that you're going through is temporary. And a leader makes you believe that. That what you are experiencing is not permanent. You are on your way to a better place.